Hey everybody, welcome to what I've decided to call Leveled Up Weekly, and this is the gaming segment for the Introspective Gamer channel. And yeah, every week, this is where you're going to be to get the latest interpretation of gaming news and almost like pop culture as well, mostly technology focused. So if I want to talk about movies or some technology, I'll probably do it here as well. But it's mostly gaming focused. Sorry. And yeah, I even have like a cheesy slogan, but I'm too nervous to use it. It was basically welcome to Leveled Up Gaming, where it's basically something cheesy like where you level up your knowledge on games or some BS like that. Level up your interpretation of video gaming. So I need to work on it. In my head, it sounded better, but anyway. So this week. Again, this is the first episode. The episode 0 is just me introducing myself as a gamer and my history, and I talk about some NX things. And of course, NX is always in the news. I'm not gonna cover it because the general consensus is that people don't want to hear about it anymore. They just want to hear information from Nintendo directly, which is a shame because obviously my hype meter's off the charts, and I want to hear everything. But that also goes into just I don't care what it is, I'm gonna buy it just because I'm like kind of a Nintendo fanboy. But yeah, so I'll just go through the segments and tell you how this is probably the general layout of how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start with what I've been playing, and yeah, I've been playing. So again, I'm not up to date, and I only have the Wii U and the 3DS as my consoles right now. I was gonna borrow an Xbox One, but my brother, who's the one I was borrowing it from, he doesn't have a controller, and he's blending it to me, not selling it to me or giving it. So I'm not gonna buy a controller for a system I'm not gonna own. So I wanted to just kind of experience some next gen gaming already 2 or 3 years after the fact, just because I want the context. I can see coverage on it, I can hear about it, but every time I see a game on PS4 or Xbox One, I'm pretty impressed by the graphics, but I want to play them because I want to know if the gameplay and mechanics are there as well. Obviously, I hear a lot about Overwatch and things like that. Sorry, I'm not going to be playing those just because I can't. But in the future, depending on how finances go, I know I'm only going to keep saying this week after week until I finally decide to get the guts to do it. But until I set up a Patreon and can grow my audience, then maybe we'll see how finances go, if that'll allow me to buy a system or two so that I can expand what I cover. But yeah, on the 3DS, I finished Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. It was an RPG. It was pretty good. Kind of winded down towards the end, but it was just because it got a little grindy for my taste, and so I just YouTubed the ending. I don't have a lot of patience for games that turn into a grind just for the sake of it. And then I just started Retro City Rampage, which again is an old game, but for context, I got that and a lot of other games through a Nintendo Humble Bundle. They've done 2, and I bought both of them. And so I've just been clearing my backlog. That's what it is. And that was next on my list. And the Retro City Rampage is really fun. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, it did get good attention and good press, but I felt like also it was muted. I feel like unless you play it, you don't know what you're getting into. Because I heard about what it was beforehand, but now that I'm playing it, it just feels really fun and silly. And all the pop culture references, all the old gaming references. I don't know what somebody who doesn't have those references would think of this game. I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine at work, and he was raised in Mexico, and he moved over when he was like 15, and so right now he's like 26, 27. And basically, he doesn't have a large context of American pop culture from a certain time period. So there's a Pee Wee Herman joke, and he didn't know who Pee Wee Herman was and stuff like that. So I wonder if he played it, how much jokes he would pick on, or if it would fall flat and he would find it boring. I'm not too sure. And on the Wii U, again, I'm still slowly trudging through Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. That game is fun, it's challenging, it's a platformer, probably one of the better ones. I played Rayman Origins and Legends, and those games are fantastic. It's kind of in the same league as those, but very different. I mean, You have to play it to know what I'm talking about. It's great. And that's kind of it in terms of future purchases. At least for the systems I own, there's nothing in the foreseeable future that I want. I want to try Yokai Watch 2. I hear it's getting alright buzz, just because I want to give it another shot. I want to give it a shot, because I'm not a fan of Pokemon. Sorry. I know Pokemon's a big franchise. I just can't get behind it. There's certain logical leaps in my head that I can't get over, like why every move the Pokemon has a limit to when it can be used. I feel like it's arbitrary. And again, I watched the cartoon, and there's a weird build up that the cartoon shows you of how battles work, and in real life or in the real game, it's not like that at all. To where like Pikachu gets hit by an attack, but he can dodge it, and it's total. Or Ash will also tell him, "Hey, dodge that move, Pikachu," and he'll do it. But in the game, you just kind of take the hits as they come, and you can't just your Pokemon can't magically like, I'm gonna get this last minute energy and my HP will raise like by 20, and it like stuff like that. It's just like these are organic creatures. They're not like robots. I don't understand just how the battle mechanics are. But again, it's not for me. Those little minute details, they bother me to the point of I can't get into the game. I understand it's good. I played Yellow on Game Boy Color, and then I bought Platinum for the DS, and I always get to like the 4th or 6th gym and just burn out because it's so much grinding. And I mean, I even hear from the community that HMs are a bitch. Sorry for that, but yeah, they're pain in the ass, and so that's something else that bothers me. But yeah, so Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Oh, in terms of future games, Paper Mario Color Splash to me is too close to Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, and so I'm not gonna be buying that anytime soon. Who knows when? But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been playing. And so now I'm just gonna go on, rattle off some little news items that I want to talk about. The Nes Classic Edition. It's not necessarily a news item. I just wanted to cover it real quick. And basically, my son is 3 years old, and he plays games every now and then. But I'm realizing that with the systems and games I have, and some of the older systems I have, he's just running into walls of what he can and can't play. And it's because there's a lot of layers of complexity and mechanics and dynamics going on in the games that he just can't comprehend. But this NES Classic Edition is something I always thought of when I had a kid. If I had a kid, that I would want to maybe raise him through the generations of the NES, Super NES, and then 64 and GameCube. But I was like, I have to buy all those systems, or at least save them. And that's hoping that the magnetic strips inside the systems don't degrade over time to where they don't hold saves, or they just don't run the chipsets, and the systems don't read the cartridges, whatever. But this kind of throws a good collection of games that he can play that are pure mechanics, and that's kind of one of the big points, or one of the major draws of classic/old school gaming is that it's pure mechanics. They had to rely on that because they didn't have graphics. And so now I'm thinking, when I first heard about this, I was like, whatever, I don't want that. But as time's gone on, I'm like, for $60 for a system I can say is all his by himself, like that, I think he would get a kick out of it. And since it's pure mechanics, there's no reading. I think he'd just get into the games and enjoy them. Kirby, Mario, I mean, there's other ones, but again, I think those border on frustrating / he won't understand, like Ghosts and Goblins and Castlevania. Those will go over his head, but at least he can hit some bats or something like that in Castlevania. So yeah, I don't know. It's a really neat system. I think it's for it's either for old players, like people who are older than me who grew up with that. I caught the tail end of it because my cousin had it, but I never owned an NES. And I think for people like me who want to introduce it to a new generation. And I just wanted to comment because Michel Ancel, the guy who's responsible for Rayman and the Rabbids and Beyond Good and Evil, he, well, not responsible, obviously, he was in charge of a team. It's just, that's something that bothers me, is how people give credit to one creator when teams make these games. I'll cover that in another episode. And I know I say that a lot, that I'll cover it in another episode. It's just because I know I go on tangents. And so I'm trying to limit my tangents so that I can get through these videos quicker. Because otherwise, all of these videos will be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And so basically, he was posting a couple of images of what people assumed was Beyond Good and Evil 2 concept art. And then officially, Ubisoft recently announced that yes, they're on pre-production for Beyond Good and Evil game. Now, they haven't really said, they really nothing about what system it's on or anything like that. But I know that months ago, maybe even a year ago, there was rumors that it could be an NX exclusive, kind of how Nintendo picked up the publishing rights and work for Bayonetta 2. So if it was Bayonetta 2 is a Wii U exclusive, that there might be something like that for Beyond Good and Evil. I don't know how true that is. I don't even know if it's possible, but it's because the NX is a mystery. We don't know any specs and stuff and the hardware it would need. And I'm not too sure if it would even make a dent. I feel like Bayonetta didn't. We just got a lot of pissed off 360 PS3 fans who were like, where's our Bayonetta 2? It was on our console first. Now you're just throwing it to Nintendo. But it's like, Nintendo paid for it. But like Bayonetta 2, I don't know how much of a fan base Beyond Good and Evil has. I haven't played part 1. I hear it's good, or good enough, but I've never had the urge to want to play it. I probably would play this just to see what it's about, and then maybe if they do like a retro re-release of part 1, I'd check it out. But yeah, I just thought it was neat that they are now in pre-production officially, and curious to see what systems it comes to. And that's kind of it. I wanted to pick like 2 or 3 news things, but there's not a lot of news that I'm interested in, which I know isn't what I should be covering. But like PlayStation VR, that just came out. I don't have one. I don't have a PS4, but I'm interested in it. But it's also, I'm interested in it from like a consumer standpoint of where VR is going, because I'm not entirely convinced VR is going anywhere in the gaming realm. I feel like VR is a cool technology. VR to me is like Kinect, where it's a cool technology, but I don't think it's gonna succeed or get anywhere in games. I think it'll be good for like medical studies, architecture, world travel, world news even. I mean, I just feel like there's other aspects of it, like science and just math, whatever, different things that it could be used for, and I don't think gaming is where it's gonna flourish. That's just my personal opinion. But so I want to see where it goes, but to me, I feel like this reminds me of the Wii, how the Wii came out, and some people were on it, some people were saying it was a gimmick, but in the end, when you get it, you have it, it's fun, and then you just put it away. So I guess a lot of the Wii, Rock Band, I don't know. Even, I don't know, I guess you could say the PS2 to an extent. Almost every piece of technology that comes out, people get tired of it. Unless it becomes an actual staple, like the interface we use for video games. Controllers are not going away because that's how we interact with them. TVs are not going away because that's how we see it. But when you introduce things like VR and the input devices they use, or motion controls, or 3D TV viewing, unless it's a necessity that you cannot consume the media any other way, there's no way that it's going to stay in anyone's household for a consumer. That's what I'm saying. I don't think consumers are going to grab VR the way everyone else seems to. I've never tried VR. I'm pretty sure it's badass and exciting. Those are some limitations I see, and I don't see a way in the near future how that's going to alleviate itself, which is fine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the sciences and arts that consumers will never even see because they don't need to, and I feel like VR is one of those things. I am interested in Gears of War 4 for the Xbox One. Again, I don't have an Xbox One. I mean, I could somehow like buy a cheap controller and then rent it or buy it just for that. But again, the investment for the payoff to me is not worth it. But it's also because I would have to enter the Xbox Live ecosystem, which I have a gamer tag from 360, but I had to make a new one recently. And then I would have to pay the live subscription, which I like to buy the cheapest option. And as the cheapest option is the 12-month option because it's $5 a month versus 1 month for like $10 or $12. So I would end up getting a year subscription, but probably wouldn't have the system for a lot of behind the scenes stuff that anyway I've been reading that it's getting good reviews. I'm really pumped for it. I hope to play it someday, in the near future maybe, but if not, that is something I'm gonna play eventually. And then so yeah, I mean that's the news segment. So now we're gonna roll on through. I just kind of wanted to run through some upcoming games and see what I'm interested in. And again, I mean, right off the bat for this month, we've got Paper Mario Color Splash. Mafia 3 is coming out soon, so a lot of people are pretty interested in that. Then FIFA 17 here is pretty big across the pond. Let's see. Other than that, I mean, for games that I'm interested in, I'm looking forward to Battlefield 1. Again, I don't have the systems to play it. Doesn't change the fact that I think it's going to be pretty badass. The time period, and just the mechanics of Battlefield games in general, of destructible environments. I mean, especially with these next-gen consoles, I feel like the level design and everything, it's going to be a badass game. I know it has to be. And so that's something I want to see the review scores on, just to see if it meets up to what I expect it to be. And just kind of course, the rivalry between Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Again, I don't know if I explained. No, I think it was a lost footage video. But I have a love-hate relationship with Call of Duty. Again, it's kind of like Pokemon. I'm just not into it as much. But I know a lot of the COD heads and the Battlefield players are going to go at it probably when these games come out. And so that'll be neat to see. Let's see. Titanfall 2 coming out October 28th. That's also that one I never played part 1, but it was something I was interested in. Just the way that the mechs or the Titans were integrated into the gameplay and how they could fight each other. And they're not tanks, these are like mobile units, and they were fast and stuff. Now they have swords and they have other weapons. This looks like it takes it to the next level, and I'm just interested in these games, and that's why I'm rattling them off. And the rest I'll leave for another episode, because they're like in November, December territory, and who knows, maybe there'll be a surprise announcement sometime down the road. And yeah, I know it seems pretty brief and quick the way I'm running through this. I think it's just because, like I'm saying, I know I can go off on tangents, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode now. And I want to thank you for leveling up on this episode. I haven't figured out how I'm going to outro these things yet, alright? So they're pretty cheesy. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I would also probably put like a reader Q&A segment here, or feedback. But again, nobody's giving feedback. It's the first few episodes, haven't built an audience. So, write in if this is your first time watching. If not, then, share with your friends and family. Like the video, subscribe. I hear that helps. I haven't actually been invested to see what that means, but hope to learn. And so again, like, subscribe, and share. Comment. And I will see y'all next week on Leveled Up. And you can also catch Subject Matters, which is my topical podcast, my topical show, next Wednesday. Yes. Sorry, I'm still learning my own schedule. Alrighty, thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.